Hello, welcome back to another episode of Modded Kerbal Space Program, where you're watching Bobby do something with his ship because my game crashed and I'm waiting for it to load back up. What are you doing?
I am attempting to achieve orbit.
How's that going?
I've had better. I am right now getting my vertical speed back in positive, and oh hey, we just achieved orbit. There we go. And that's how we do that. So I am, let's see here, my periapsis is below the station periapsis. Let's pull up the rendezvous UI. I'm less than 1,000 kilometers away, which is better than I've done before. So we're going to take off the surface UI here. I'm going to warp to my periapsis so I can point retrograde and drop down below it. So there's me. And that's the Duna test lander too. Narnia is somewhere. It's ahead of this. Is that Narnia? No. That's the space station. Oh, and while we're in orbit, we are going to deploy the protective airstream shell. Oh, those struts held. Those struts held very well. I'm quite impressed.
That's good.
Yes. And
all right.
We're going to extend some solar panels here.
Fortunately, I have missed my window. So I'm going to have to fast forward again. Instead of doing what I did last time, because I really don't want to orbit the planet like 12 times just to rendezvous.
What is my target's apoapsis?
There
it is.
92. Okay, good enough. All right. Leave the map. Load up our solar array. Load. Actually fix the staging this time before launching. This one goes here. This one goes here. And this goes on its own stage. Save, launch. How's it going?
It's going good. Doing a 180 on the station because now my periapsis is way too low. And this should... Alright, well, we got it above the atmosphere.
Target set. SAS on. Throttle might cut down. Because
down for the most part.
thrust to weight ratio is massive on this thing.
So now for the most part, we're below it. What's my current altitude? Well, we're actually technically above it right now. But when we get back to our periapsis, I can drop it a little. I'm going to warp to the periapsis. Point retrograde here. And then I'll warp to the... Actually, if I warp to the periapsis right now, my ship should automatically rotate itself.
All right. Well, let's see how we can do on this launch. I'm already doing better because I'm already starting to turn over a lot sooner than the last launch. was way
There
late
we
on
go.
that last time.
There we go. That's all we need. Oh crap, that was target retrograde. Oh well. I'm below. So okay. So next, we just time accelerate here. Like I said, I'm under 1,000 kilometers, which is, if you've watched the previous, couple of episodes, you'll know that we're doing pretty good here so far. Oh, hold on. Let me come out of orbit, or out of time warp, not out of orbit.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't be good.
Yes. F5. And then go back into map view and time warp. And what is kind of a nice thing to do here is we can look at Kerbin from the North Pole here. And there is my intersection markers. And as we time warp, we can watch ourselves catch up. So that is Narnia right there. And then that is us here, the Narnia ring. So we're under 900 kilometers and closing. Relative velocity 2,900 meters per second. And then I see Dan launching something. Solar array.
Yep. This is actually going to be almost the most accurate encounter I will have ever had.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be pretty close. Like, my intersect with the target is at my apoapsis, and I haven't rounded my orbit out yet.
Wow, nice.
Well, basically at my apoapsis. My separation is like 10 kilometers, but because my apoapsis isn't quite high enough, and yeah, my apoapsis isn't quite high enough, but it's pretty dang close.
Mm-hmm. So our separation is falling under 700 kilometers. And our distance right now is 700 kilometers. Relative velocity 2,300 meters per second.
This actually might be the closest I've ever come to, like, the perfect encounter here.
It just looks cool.
My relative velocity to the target, I'm in orbit, mostly. My relative velocity to the target is like 1.7.
Okay.
My distance is 10. Like, that's about as good as I could ask for.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get rid of this big stage. And let's get rid of the fairing. And then we're going to point towards the target. What's my current intersect? 8.7. We can fix that. Oh, geez. You are missing drastically. How's your rendezvous coming?
We just went under 500 kilometers. Relative velocity, 1,550 meters per second. And approaching.
Okay, Retrograde to target 2.8.
Oh yeah, there is a crap ton of food and water on here for these 3 Kerbals.
That's good. We might as well go ahead and put one of these
Well, yeah, for this one there is still 2, but
panels out a while. Okay, intersect is in 2.8.
okay. All right, we are 300 kilometers and closing. So now we really do want to kind of make sure we don't pass the station here.
Three 2.8. Retrograde. Target.
$146 kilometers.
Basically 0.
130.
And we point towards the target again and repeat.
Alright, 150 kilometers in closing.
Take it up to like 20. 1.1. We can go a little closer. I think 0.5. That's about as good as it's going to get. Okay, there we go.
All right, we are under 50 kilometers.
It's a race to see who docks first.
It's going to be you.
Yes, I am 1.5 kilometers away.
Yes.
But it'll be close. I mean, you're not, if you're 50 out, you're not that far away.
Yes. So 30 kilometers out in closing. In this section, we are going pretty much to pass it. So let's see here. Where there is the station. There is me. So they're kind of above me and ahead of me. So let's do target retrograde and drop our speed. And I see one of Dan's vectors being crudely drawn in front of me.
All right, let's kill our velocity to 0. We're going to point towards the target, and then I think I'm going to do the rest from this point on with RCS. Because I am so very close. So let's go ahead and stage that one. And stage... Oh, we don't even need to activate that. Okay, whatever. And we'll stage that. Retract the solar panels. Turn the RCS on. And thrust towards the station. Okay. approaching the station at 4.3 meters per second. Set on a collision course. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. I got... it's pretty nice when the target vector pretty much lines up with everything here. Let's get our apoapsis a little higher here, kids. Still feel a little safe with that. There we go. Alright, so let's see what that does. Oops, I was in the correct screen anyways. Let's see what that does to any kind of upcoming intersect points. So that is going to occur around here. Target it.
I'm going to be on the wrong side of the station. That's a very good question. Self? I don't have an answer to that. Kind of.
So it really doesn't seem like I'm going to get any closer to it right now at the moment.
This whole thing is kind of positioned at a weird angle.
Mm-hmm.
It's very strange. I think it moved when I decoupled the probe core from the last solar array.
Mm-hmm. Let's just keep burning towards target. See here, relative velocity 100 meters a second. I am like still kind of slightly behind it. So our still closing in on it. Still gonna pass me at that intersect point. So let's only thing left to do is hit retrograde.
Alright, let's kill our velocity entirely. Spin it around this way. Oh, no. Stop that. Nope, stop that. Stabilize. God damn it. Don't point at the target. Alright, now we gotta slide this way a little bit.
I'm gonna bump up my gimbal a little bit here so it can track stuff a little bit better here. Let's get that relative velocity down a little bit more here. 3.2 meters a second. And still getting closer to it.
Okay, we're just about in position, roughly. It's got to kind of fly over top of the docking port we want here.
All right. 16 kilometers in closing.
Okay, now we need to point down towards the target.
So
shift back this way and rotate in this direction. Roughly, yeah, that looks about right. All right. right, I think I am pretty much on target to dock here. Assuming I'm reading the docking port alignment indicator correctly. Which I almost have to be because all of the little things line up. So, and it's looking pretty good. Wait, oh, and we have connection. Excellent. Let's not deploy any of those yet. Let's just,
Yeah.
Oh.
You're, causing the station to bounce around dramatically.
Yeah, I just, broke, 2 solar panels.
Okay. Well, that's the worst thing that happens.
You didn't bring any engineers, did you?
No.
That's unfortunate. I think engineers can repair them.
Yes, I believe you're correct. All right, so I got to, well, all right. So I got to pull retrograde here, target retrograde. I got to try to, even though, like, the station keeps bouncing around, and I have
It'll
to...
stop as soon as I am not attached to the station anymore.
Yeah. Well, I'm slightly worried because my...
In fact, here, I am not attached to the station anymore.
My periapsis was negative for a while there, so that had me worried slightly. And so let's get our...
How close are you to the station?
I am 6,200 meters.
Okay. At that range,
Yes.
like, you can pretty much ignore your apoapsis and periapsis when you're so close.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you kill your relative velocity to the target, I mean, you're going to be, like... By killing your relative velocity, you're matching your orbit to the target's orbit. So
yeah. All right. So let's see here. I somehow now, after all that, got above it and behind it, which is... I've always been behind it, I think. Maybe slightly. Is there... Let's see here. How close am I going to get? It's bouncing around to like 5 kilometers.
all right, let's trash another probe into the atmosphere.
Yay, atmosphere! All right. So I'm gonna burn towards the target again because I'm actually getting further away from it now. So yeah. And my retrograde vector was in front of the ship. So let's point. Let's get the prograde vector and the target vector lined up as best we can. And then switch retrograde here.
When you're down to this close, are you even looking at the map anymore?
Like the map, I'm, kind of looking at it. I mean, just as something to look at. I'm not really...
Okay. Usually what I do, and I don't want you to do this now because it'll fuck you up, but I'm going to tell you what I do for the future. As I'm approaching it, I glance at the map to see what my intersect point is. That way I know how close I'm going to be when I need to kill my relative velocity again.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Okay. because it should never start passing you again, basically, or you should never start passing it. If you're watching and you burn soon enough, you always want to keep it on the same side of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
it doesn't...
boom. What?
It doesn't always tell you... Well, I mean, it doesn't tell you the exact point where it passes you.
No, but you can... It tells you what your closest distance at intersect is. Mm-hmm. Right? So you can just... If you put... Let's say it's in front of you, right? So when you switch back to your regular mode, you view the little dot and have it in front of you, and you can see it as it's approaching you. So, and you watch the like rendezvous thing that tells you how far away it is. So as let's say your intersect is 5 kilometers or whatever. So as you see it's approaching 5, it's say, okay, now it's at like 5.5. Okay, now I'm going to kill my velocity down to 0 and then reset, kind of a thing.
All right, so I am 1,400 kilometers away, and it's passing me again. So I am going to now, soon as this thing points retrograde, kill all my relative velocity. And then switch to RCS control here. Why are you speeding up? Why are you speeding up?
How's it going?
It's going all right. We're at less than a meter a second relative velocity, so I'm fine with that. All right, and we are 2 kilometers away. So, and I'm closing in on it. So, all right, I'm gonna load up RCS here. And this is always so hard to do.
What?
Decouple my rocket, my engine. But I kind of have to.
Yeah. All right. Well, why don't we're running a bit over here. Why don't you finish that off camera? Okay. And we'll end the episode here. If you like the video, click like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time for some more Kerbal Space Program. Thanks for watching. Bye.